Now, Meghan McCain is once again getting in trouble for a little bit of hypocrisy, this time concerning her late father, John McCain. McCain actually went after Democratic Senator and 2020 contender Amy Klobuchar. Now, she tweeted this, quote, "On behalf of the entire McCain family, please be respectful to all of us and leave my father's legacy and memory out of presidential politics." Now, why would she say that? I mean, maybe Klobuchar must have said something truly awful, went after her family in some sort of way, right? I mean, it's not like Donald Trump hasn't went after the McCain family. Well, okay, we have a quote. This is from Amy Klobuchar at one of her sparsely attended rallies. She said this, quote, "The day when I sat on the stage between Bernie and John McCain kept reciting to me the names of dictators during that speech, because he knew more than any of us what we were facing as a nation. He understood it. He knew because he knew this man more than any of us did." And this was during the inauguration of President Trump. No, now wait a minute. What's wrong with that? I mean, let me be clear. I don't like anybody in this story. I hate everyone here. Okay. Meghan McCain, I do not like her. Amy Klobuchar, certainly don't like her. And John McCain, also not a fan. And even I'm looking at this saying, now, wait a minute. Now, what's wrong with that? I mean, if you're Meghan McCain, what would you find offensive about that statement? Now, from my perspective, Klobuchar is a moderate, right? She's a so-called moderate. She loves reaching out to Republicans like John McCain. And she has a history of invoking his name in very positive, like in a very positive way. Which drives me nuts as a progressive. To see somebody who couldn't wait to get us into a war with Iran and who voted for 100 other terrible things, voted with Trump most of the time, getting praised by a Democrat. But then again, that's Amy Klobuchar. Now, if you were looking for somebody who's more of a centrist and, enjoys Republicans and loves to work with them and getting their policies passed, well, that's Amy Klobuchar for you, right? So now, on that, what's Meghan's problem with her? I don't know. I don't see the problem. But it seems to be pretty hypocritical for Meghan McCain to slam somebody for referencing her father when that's all she does, ever. And Twitter, social media had no problem calling it out. Mike Adams says, in all honesty, this is not fair. McCain was a career politician, which is something that should not even exist. His daughter's making a living off his name. You cannot have it both ways. It's like a member of the royal family demanding both the golden crown and personal privacy. So true. Chance McMahon says, read, "Only I, the daughter of John McCain, get to use my father's legacy for my own personal gain." John Carvalho says, "I think under the system of protocol, presidential candidates would be limited to quoting only living politicians and fictional characters. No more Churchill, Teddy Roosevelt, Lincoln, or Kennedy." I don't know, maybe. Dennis Stern says, "Even though Meghan McCain drags her family through presidential politics most days on The View, but my dad." He added, "And gee, wonder if she'd have that job if she was not a McCain." Well, I think we all know the answer to that. Of course she would not have that job. But because she is a McCain, and because she continues to reference her father all the time, it's the only reason that she's relevant, only reason she's on TV. Because, for one, she literally has no stance. Her, apparently, according to Anna Kasparian's worked with her before, she has a different personal preference to abortion than her public preference to abortion. So that's interesting. And basically, she's on The View in order to continue to get into fights with the progressives. But she literally knows nothing about politics and even her own side. Just there for the drums. More, Gary M. Serrell says, "You remember him running for president in 2000-2008. He's part of the history of presidential politics," which is true. He also adds, "Did you try DMing Amy Klobuchar instead of using your dad's corpse as a cudgel for presidential politics?" And 3, I bet your disappointment to your dad. Oh, those last 2. Oh, those are great. Now the work begins tweets, He's a public figure, and we have a First Amendment. Nothing disrespectful here, only your desire to always center yourself where you were irrelevant. Sherry Smulders points out, I think you use your father every single day. Such a hypocrite. And finally, David Rothschild says, what the F is this? Well, I'll tell you what this is. This is a privileged, entitled girl who knows nothing about the world, getting mad at somebody for referencing their friendship with their dad as an effort of bipartisanship, or an example of bipartisanship. The whole thing drives me nuts for my own reasons. But I think the hypocrisy is that much worse. I can't stand it. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.